And hello, everybody. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you. We have isolated severe thunderstorms developing up in the northern Red River Valley. What's going on? What do you need to be concerned about? And when will it happen? A quick look in your forecast coming right now.
A Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
Hey, everybody. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you. We do have some severe thunderstorm activity going along, just crossing over the Red River Valley. There is a cool front that you can see evidence of here sneaking its way through, and some changes taking place. This warning is about over, and the storm has lost a little bit of punch, but still right along the county line here. Between that Polk County area and northwest Polk County, right near Alvarado here, we do have a fairly potent thunderstorm moving off toward the Warren area. Large hail potential and gusty straight line winds possible with this. A couple of models had these storms moving this way and then turning when they get into the western side of Minnesota and moving straight south. And if that's the case, you can kind of see this boundary here that's trying to form along the outflow from this storm. And if that fires off and is enough energy to really develop in full, we could see some more explosive development across the area. Right now, very isolated, as you can tell. Now, as we take a look at whether or not this is going to happen or is happening, one of the tools I like to use is the visible satellite. Look at this monster here. A tornado-warned storm here punching all those clouds into the upper levels of the atmosphere, but that was the only game in town there. And right now, this is the only game in town here, starting up there near the Walsh County line there with Grand Forks County, crossing over the Oslo area, a big-time hail. If you do have some reports of severe weather in your area, go ahead and upload photos and let us know when and where and what happened in your area. That is it. Now we can watch this line that extends all the way here from north of Lake of the Woods down into the James River Valley, and that is the zone of change. Behind it to the left of that line, the risk of severe weather extremely low. So that means Fargo, Grand Forks for a while, Thief River Falls, and all of Lakes Country having that best chance of storms. I do think some of the better chances will be along the international border. Let's get right to a look at the forecast, but first we'll take a peek at what the Storm Prediction Center says. We still have that slight risk of severe weather as we go through in the yellow areas here. Those are areas, any of these areas, if storms form, they could be severe. That's all this means. The risks are going to be large hail between 1 and 2 inches in diameter in all likelihood. Gusty straight line winds will become a significant threat if these line of thunderstorms begin to develop and fill. And we do have an isolated risk at some tornadic activity, but the risk of that will be in the early onset of the storms here in the next couple of hours. So let's take a look at that modeled forecast. Again, all modes of severe weather will be possible, but if you're on the left side of this map, your risk is waning very quickly. And if it doesn't fire, it may not fire. That's kind of the thing with these thunderstorms as we head into the night. As you know, models don't do a precise job time and again of positioning and timing of storms, or even whether or not they will develop. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of the models here to show you what they're thinking. Here is one of the latest runs from this hourly updating model. It does show a line filling from Roseau County and Lake of the Woods right into Grand Forks as we go through with a couple of storms. I don't see any clouds to support this yet, and the time frame on this, I'm sorry it's not lining up right for you here, but it's basically 11 o'clock at night. So between right now, which is 8:45, and the 11 o'clock hour is when that chance will be greatest for a couple of storms forming. Notice how they fizzle out with this particular model. Then as we go into your weekend, the best chance at any storms minus Friday morning showers and storms rumbling through the Dakotas, out of the central Dakotas. That's about it. 1 or 2 of those morning storms may be strong with locally heavy rain. Look at the South Dakota area and parts of southern Minnesota with the greatest chance at seeing some activity as we go through your Saturday forecast period. So Friday night into Saturday morning will bring another chance mainly to the south. Up north, I think you're going to escape pretty quietly. Here's a model that I think has been doing a fairly reasonable job with our forecast over the last several runs. Let me see, this one only goes out a little bit, but it does show that we'll have a couple of meandering storms working their way through our area as we go into the late evening hours, but nothing really evolving from this system. And that is certainly a possibility. And that's my hope for you, agricultural producers out there with a lot on the line. Speaking of which, hutchesweather.com is a great place to take a look at the latest as storms develop or move into your area. You can always use my website with the interactive radar to see whether or not those storms are severe. There's a couple of steps you can do, and I'll go through those with you right now. I want you to make sure you check out this thing right over my head, right over my hand here. I'm just kind of pointing to it right there. That gear, that is where you can update your location. If you click on that, it's going to ask you, what city are you in? Or you can allow hutchesweather.com to follow your location. Once you type that evidence in, or that information in, if there's a warning in your area, it's going to show up at the top of the screen, and you're going to know for your area what's going on. Now, if you have a crop in the field and you're looking for, well, some, insurance on what's going on there, check with my friends at JLA Insurance. This is Nate, and Nate is a farmer, a small farmer, but he also does insurance work as well. And something to keep in mind, just to remind you, is that hail coverage can be bound within 2 hours. So if that threat is heading your way and it's something you want to look into, please call my friend Nate over at JLA Crop Insurance. The JLA comes from the first initial of all Nate's kids. So thanks so much, Nate, for being a sponsor of Hutch's Weather. And please keep Nate's JLA Crop Insurance in mind. If you have any needs at all, let him know that Hutch sent you. Now let's get back to that radar. And hutchesweather.com, a great place to upload your photos as well as you go through. If you have any questions at all here on my YouTube channel, let me know. Drop it in the comments. But that was a look at what's going on there. We will take a look real quickly at what we're expecting with regards to our forecast for smoke. So pardon me while I'm looking for the details on that. Here's a look at that smoke forecast as we go through the next 24 to 48 hours. Two things to keep in mind: a little bit of smoke. See if we're looking at the right forecast here. This is an older one, it looks like. So let me go up. Whoopsies. Sorry. There we go. Let's try this one. Okay, so this shows that we do have some smoke and fires working their way through the southern Rockies of Montana and the northern Rockies out there in portions of Wyoming, rather. I apologize. I was just looking around here. Now, what we got going on in Canada, let me go ahead and lower this down back again. As we go into your Friday, things stay pretty quiet. That northwest wind not ushering in low-level smoke right away. So that's good. That's been something we've had to keep our eyes on as well. And a quick peek at your weekend forecast, just as we might here in this little update. I want to show you from the European model. We have our little storm threat tonight. The European model shows that we will have a slight chance in the next hour or two. It breezes through real quickly, and then it's out of here. Southern Valley and into southern Minnesota will bring a Saturday chance for some storms from Friday night. So Friday night, Saturday morning, a quick round far to the south. Then as we do that, we'll see a repeat performance in this southerly area once again, eastern South Dakota, southern Minnesota, possibly the Southern Valley, and that's how Sunday looks. Then as we go into Monday, more of the same with a few showers and storms in southern Minnesota and points east. So not all of us are going to see storms, even though Hutch's 7-day forecast has had a few lightning bolts on it here and there. The chances of storms not too great. Ethan, good to see you again. Thanks for coming to visit me at Gate City Bank, and thanks to all of you who did so. What an event that they had going on. Heidi Dragonfly, thank you very much, and I hope you all have a wonderful night. Now, if storms do take off tonight, I'll be here doing some intermittent cut-ins while I'm doing some other family business here, but please, the warning has been allowed to expire, but if storms form in your area, just stay informed, whether it's right here on Hutch's Weather or hutchesweather.com, whether or not that storm is severe. Here's a look at that latest radar showing that the warning has been allowed to expire from the National Weather Service for this cell working its way through western Marshall and northwestern Polk County, now just south of Alvarado. Again, there is some hail with this cell. So take a look at a couple of the details on it. You can see that the cells are showing their greatest hail potential. Pardon me while I get to the right screen here. There we go. So moving off to the east, it's moving at about 30 miles per hour. There is some hail potential, about 1/2 inch to 1 inch diameter hail in the core of that cell, moving east-southeast now. Remember I said it might take a turn to the south. The hail probability is 100%. There's going to be hail in there, but most of it will be non-severe. There is a 50% chance that a few could see close to some significant hail that would be classified as severe, 1 inch diameter hail. So that's a look at where that storm is, where it's going, heading to the Highway 75 corridor in northwestern Polk County. We do have another little cell here near Grand Forks, another in the northwestern quadrant of Cass County. So does Fargo need to worry? Does Halstead need to worry? Does Hillsborough need to worry? This is that cold front. And let me show you one more slick whistle. One more thing here that's kind of cool. Are you ready? Here's the deal. See these wind arrows here coming from the northwest? Once your wind shifts, your risk of severe weather goes way, way down. This soupy air here with south winds, that includes the James River Valley, still south winds showing up there on Hutch's little wind arrows. Then as you take a look, Hutch's little wind arrows here have south winds all the way across the region. And then all of these areas from Mayville and Foston through the, Beltrami County area, all of us will have a chance at these storms working their way through. It's very, very humid out there. It's air you can wear. We have temperatures out here that are uncomfortable indeed, but we factor in those dew points out there is ridiculous. So air temperatures right now heading into the top of the hour here at 9 o'clock. Our hottest in South Dakota, this white hot business, is 90-degree plus in Pierre, in also Rapid City, South Dakota. But here in our neck of the woods, we're hugging that 80-degree mark. You factor in those dew points though in the 70s, and this is air you can wear. It's mighty juicy. You need a squeegee to dry off the skin, but that'll only last for a few minutes. So the air you can wear, the humid air all the way up into parts of southern Manitoba tonight. So the atmosphere is juiced and loaded for bear. If storms form, if they can break through the cap and everything works out just right, then we could have some volatile storms, very heavy rain. How about a 77-degree dew point down here as we sneak down to you folks down there in that Oaks area and out near Britain, South Dakota. A lot of 77s in the cropland area here where those crops are adding to the moisture in the atmosphere. So juicy air to be replaced by northwest winds and much drier air with dew points dropping into a more comfortable and more typical level in the 50s here in the Northern Plains is what we would typically be in this time of the year. All right, that's a look at your weather and your forecast. I'll be here as often as I can. For now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful evening. Stay informed as storms form, and I'll do my best to keep you up to date with the very latest. Until next time, stay tuned, stay safe, but please hit the follow button on my Facebook page and the subscribe button on my YouTube channel, or head on over to hutchesweather.com.